Hey YouTube. So I bought one of these knockoff Fleck. I think it's 5600. I could be mistaken. Water softener control valves. This is it was like 150 bucks or something, 140 bucks. I don't know. Anyway, cheap. So let it do its first regen last night, and lo and behold, it fills my brine tank right to the top. Read the instructions. Absolutely jack squat about how to fix brine tank level. So I know from having serviced my previous system that it metered out about 20 liters ish of water, a little over 5 gallons, which brought the level up to about there, give or take, on my brine tank. So after some looking around, I found that on the Fleck unit originally, there's a little adjuster here that adjusts how long that valve is held down for. This one happens to be in minutes. On the brand name ones, they're in pounds of salt. So this one was originally set to 10 minutes and metered out quite a bit of water, filled my little bucket right up to the top. So I turned it down to 4 by just loosening that screw and moving that little rocker down to 4 minutes, and then tested it. It ran out 15 liters of water. So I moved it up just a touch and tested it again. And it metered me out about 22 liters of water, which is a tad high, but we'll see how much salt it goes through. There's just 2 of us living here, so I don't have the thing regenerate all the time. Regenerates every 2 days. Not every other day, every 2 days. Regenerates, skips 2 days, regenerates, skips 2 days. There's only 2 of us living here and we both work, so we don't go through a ton of water. So I'm going to wait for that to start dripping. This will be the second test just to confirm. And when it starts dripping here in a minute or so, I'll come back on and we'll watch it fill together. I hope that I haven't got a real mess on my hands here. I hope this doesn't turn into a giant brick of garbage that I'm spending the next 8 years chipping out. It should siphon all the water out on its next regen, which I'll run if I've got my water level just double checked here. But it should siphon all the water out until the little air check there, which I've removed and cleaned, stops it from sucking once it gets down to whatever level that thing sits off the bottom. I think it pretty much sits right on the bottom. So anyway, in a few minutes this should start dripping, and I'll throw the camera back on. We'll double check it together, and hopefully this, if you bought one of these cheap, they look exactly the same, and maybe it's the same manufacturer, who knows. But if you bought one of these things and this is happening to you, that guy right there is how you fix it. Turn it down, double check, dump it into something with a known volume, or known-ish volume, right? According to Google and my previous system, it should take 3 to 6 gallons, so I'm shooting for 5 gallons, which would probably be good. If it's a little over, who cares? If it's a little under, it's a little under, who cares? I'm sure it'll be just fine. So anyway, I'll let this start dripping and I'll get back to you. Alright, 4 minutes, 10 seconds video time. She started dripping again. Take my Holden wrench off here. Yes, I know my brine tank's dirty. Don't give me shit for it. I'll clean it as soon as the salt's out of it. I'm a little pressed for time this week. Oh, she goes. I'm not sure. I double checked that metering orifice was still there just to be sure. And it is. I'm not sure how much of a flow restriction that really is, because when this thing gets going, that water comes out of this 3/8 tube at a pretty good clip. got my water system set to kick on at about 53 to 55 psi and kick off at 60 to 62. So I do have quite a bit of water pressure. Let's see here. Again, this is the second run here, and I'm just going to make sure. It should come up to about an inch under that line in the top of the pail, and that line in the top of the pail is 5 imperial gallons, or 23 liters, which is about right where my old system was filling the brine tank to, which again was, oh, I don't know, 10 inches of water in the bottom if there were no salt in there. There's the jet pump. Now, it could be part of the problem is the fact that I do run my water pressure in my house quite high. I do that because my wife complained when we first moved here that there wasn't enough pressure to rinse the conditioner out of her hair. So I fixed that, but good. Cranked the pump up, adjusted the air in the surge tank. Runs good now. Splashing all over the place here. We'll see here. Hopefully it doesn't vary too wildly. I'd imagine you'll see some variance, especially if you're on a well system, depending on what the pressure in the house is when this process starts. If it's low, or, you know, could have a little less flow. Because it does meter the water over a length of time rather than the actual water volume itself. So you will see some variation in how much water is let out. But we're shooting for about at that line, if not about an inch under it. I'd be happy with 23 liters, that'd be just dandy. Shooting for 20, but I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. Extra 3/4 gallon. As long as she's not full to the top again. And before you give me shit in the comments, if anybody does end up watching this, I will clean that. I was just pressed for time. I needed to get this working so I could move on to another project I had waiting for me outside. It was 4 minutes and 10 seconds when I started the video again after it just started barely dripping. It's now 9 minutes and 20 seconds. It's been about 5 minutes. Coming up to the line. Half an inch or so. Yeah. Well, pot's not sitting straight, but I'd say it's about half an inch, maybe, give or take. You know what? I don't think I'm going to fret too much over that. It's about 5 gallons. and it filled up to just a little touch less than that previously, but again, there could be variations in the water pressure, so I think that'll be okay. I'm going to let it regen and suck that all out. Then I'll come back after it's done and see if I can see water. I bet I won't. So anyway, that's how you set your brine level on one of these Fleck knockoffs. So I hope this helped. Thanks for watching.